This is the Fertile Mindset podcast, where we explore all the emotional aspects of fertility to support you on your path to parenthood. My name is Sarah Holland. I'm the Fertile Mindset coach and a mother to 2 children after my own fertility challenges. I hope you find all the support and inspiration you need within this podcast to carry you forward on your fertility journey towards your own successful outcome. It's also my wish that through listening to these episodes, you rediscover how to enjoy life now and live it to the full while you wait for your baby. Now, let's begin today's episode. Hello and welcome to episode 12, where I'm going to talk about your fertility in a COVID world. The COVID situation is, of course, something that is affecting all of us in some way and has been for around a year now. Yesterday was my birthday, my first birthday in a lockdown, which completes the cycle because everyone in our family has now had a lockdown birthday. But my birthday last year was very different when my husband surprised me with a night away in London. We stayed at a gorgeous hotel, and the only nod to COVID at the time was a bottle of hand sanitizer at the hotel reception. I remember thinking, do I use it or not? Is it really needed? I can't remember if I did, but I do remember that we had an amazing time in London, eating in restaurants, wandering around a gallery, and generally enjoying the freedom of a couple of days in the city. Now, of course, hand sanitizer and masks, social distancing, restrictions, lockdowns, testing, self-isolating and quarantining have all become a part of everyday, normal life. I hesitated using the word normal because although it has become our normal life, it is anything but normal. There is hope now, of course, and a light at the end of this COVID tunnel. And here in the UK, we've been given estimated dates for each level of restriction to be lifted, with a hope that by June we will be back to a much more normal. Even with this plan ahead and hope for the quite near future, our day-to-day life right now is still disrupted though. And if your fertility journey is a big part of your life, then that has been disrupted in countless ways too. There are many areas that we could talk about in relation to fertility and COVID. Fertility treatment being delayed and disrupted, travel to clinics being much more difficult or blocked, especially if you're having treatment internationally, all the uncertainty around the vaccine in relation to fertility, and the changes you may have had in your life which then have a knock-on impact to your fertility journey. Maybe you've been furloughed or lost your job. Maybe you're a frontline worker working in much more stressful and difficult conditions than ever before in your life. Maybe you've been unwell yourself, or your loved ones have, or sadly lost their lives to this virus. Whatever challenges you have faced over the last year, in addition to the fertility challenges you were already facing, my heart goes out to you. These have been and still are truly tough and testing times. But you are still here. You are listening to this podcast even, which means you are keeping your focus on your fertility despite the COVID-related challenges. And this is what I wanted to focus in on today. How can you maintain your focus on your fertility when you're dealing with uncertain times? It was a topic that came up in the most recent support circle session for the monthly paying members of the Fertile Mindset Sanctuary. We have 2 of these group support sessions a month, and it's a time for Sanctuary members to share whatever challenges they're facing and ask for support. We talk, we share support, and we do lots and lots of EFT tapping, which is the technique I use with all my support at Fertile Mindset. It brings about shifts in our emotional well-being, stress levels, thoughts and beliefs to naturally support you and your fertility. If you don't already know EFT, you can quickly learn it and be guided through how to use it for your fertility with the free entry level of my Sanctuary membership. Just go to fertilemindset.com/sanctuary to sign up and start learning how to use EFT. And once you've learnt it, you will also be able to start using it yourself on anything that comes up for you in this episode today or in any of the other podcast episodes. Okay, so back to the topic of your fertility in a COVID world. And as I said, this topic came up in the last Sanctuary support circle. And the aspect that we focused on was how difficult it can be to keep a focus on fertility and a routine to support fertility when there is so much going on around us. Listening to or reading the news, hearing from friends about their challenges and all the uncertainty around us can make it so hard to keep the focus you want to on your fertility. Pre-COVID, it might have been that you had or you were creating a really healthy and supportive routine. You may have been focusing on eating foods to support your health and fertility, doing the right kind of exercise, keeping stress levels as low as possible, and getting enough good quality sleep. We know that having a good daily routine that supports our health and well-being supports our fertility too, which is why, for many, it becomes a really important part of your fertility plan. However, with so much going on in your life and in the world around you, it can be so hard to keep this focus. At times it may feel impossible, or like it's the least important thing when there are other more pressing and urgent demands on your mental and emotional energy and on your time. What was shared in the support circle is that recognising how hard it's been to keep on track with a fertility plan and healthy daily routine can lead to a feeling of panic. A panic about undoing all the good work, about how hard it feels to get back on track, and around feeling out of control. If there's one thing that COVID has taught us is that any feeling of control we had was an illusion. Things can and do change quickly and unexpectedly, and there can be nothing we can do to stop these changes. But what we do within those changes, though, is in our control. And that's what I love about using EFT tapping. It helps us to strip back the very real but not needed thoughts, beliefs and emotions, and helps us to discover, or should I say uncover, our most naturally supportive perspective or mindset. Because however difficult, unexpected or disruptive a challenge is, there is always a better, more comfortable and supportive way for us to approach it. When we're in a place of panic and overwhelm, it's impossible to even imagine what this may be, let alone step into it. But when we calm and clear our mind and let only the most important facts and thoughts in, then we can create a plan that is uniquely supportive for us. So, whilst we can talk about ideas for how to approach your fertility in these COVID times, what I'd also love you to do is use EFT to tap through the challenging moments and thoughts and discover your own insights and different perspective. Then it will feel and it will be real and authentic. You can borrow someone else's positive outlook, but if it doesn't feel like it's a fit for you, you won't want to keep it, and your mind will drift back to its default place of stress and worry. When you find a new healthy perspective that supports you, it feels just right. It feels comfortable, easy, and the most natural way to be within challenging times. Doesn't that sound like a good place to get to? Another approach that can help us find this supportive mindset is to become more present. We talk about this in episode 6 on present moment magic. When our thoughts go to our past, it can bring up sadness or regret. Like when I think back to my birthday this time last year, the freedom we had and how we took this for granted. And when we live in the future, this too can be emotional when we feel uncertain, worried or fearful about what may or may not happen. I feel like the time we are in right now in the UK with our roadmap of potential dates for restrictions lifting is meant to give us hope, but it can add to our uncertainty too. Do we make plans to see friends and family, travel, book holidays? Do we get our hopes up? We know that restrictions can change again at a moment's notice, so it makes us feel cautious, less willing to hope, more likely to worry. But what if we stayed present? We know exactly what is happening in this moment. There is no mystery, uncertainty, or fearful hope. Today, this moment, we know where we are, what we can do, and we have a choice of how to spend that time and what thoughts to have. And then tomorrow, we can be present in that moment too, and again feel connected to what we do know and what we can do. And the same will happen the day after, next week, next month. Each day we wake up, we have a choice. What can we do today? What choices can we make to support ourselves, support our health, well-being and fertility? It may not be the same as having a 3-month fertility plan with the clear timescales and plans that you may have had before, but we can still make choices every day while keeping the end goal, which is conceiving and giving birth to a healthy baby, in mind. If you find it hard to be present and your mind is anywhere but, a simple way to practice this is to be still, close your eyes and take your attention inward by focusing on your body. In Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, this is how he describes how to connect with what he calls the inner body to become more present. I'm going to read an excerpt from the book to you now, and feel free to do this exercise too, as long as you can focus and you're not driving. Connecting with the inner body. You may find it helpful to close your eyes for this practice. Later on, when being in the body has become natural and easy, this will no longer be necessary. Direct your attention into the body. Feel it from within. Is it alive? Is there life in your hands, arms, legs and feet? In your abdomen, in your chest? Can you feel the subtle energy field that pervades the entire body and gives vibrant life to every organ and every cell? Can you feel it simultaneously in all parts of the body as a single field of energy? Keep focusing on the feeling of your inner body for a few moments. Do not start to think about it, feel it. The more attention you give it, the clearer and stronger this feeling will become. It will feel as if every cell is becoming more alive. And if you have a strong visual sense, you may get an image of your body becoming luminous. Although such an image can help you temporarily, pay more attention to the feeling than to any image that may arise. I love this simple practice from The Power of Now, which is the foundation of the whole practice of being present in the book. Meditation and following our breath is another way to become present in the moment, and focusing on the natural flow of our breath is another way to bring our attention into our body. When we do that, we can't help but be present because it's all that we are being. Now, when we are present, this is the place from which we can take a fresh perspective on this moment, this day. Ask yourself from this place of presence, what can I do today to support myself and my fertility? What one thing can I do right now? What thoughts can I think that I know will be supportive? If you find this challenging, this is where EFT can be a great help. If there are invasive thoughts, nagging worries that won't go away, rather than trying to push them away, let them be present along with the emotions they bring, and tap through a simple round of EFT while you're feeling them. As you tap each point, you will be balancing your reaction to this challenge, bringing you back to the most supportive mindset. And from there, you will be able to practice presence much more easily. And from a calmer, clearer mind, you will make the choices that are right for you in this moment. Another thing I'd love you to do with any overwhelm, worry or panic you're feeling is to reach out and to talk. When we are alone with our worries, it can feel isolating, like no one else would or could understand. It feels like we're the only one experiencing these problems. But when we share, talk and listen, we realise that our struggles are not unique. There are others who deeply understand and empathise, and through sharing you will be open to connecting with support, solutions and people to travel this path with. I know this was one of the most important things that came out of the support circle last week, that once shared, others could say, "Me too." To feel listened to, heard and understood is validating and empowering too. If others are experiencing similar struggles and they are keeping going and they are finding solutions, then you can too. The impossible becomes possible and you are motivated to find your own unique way through these challenges. If you're listening to this podcast, it's likely that you are still on your fertility journey and still wanting to take steps forward towards conceiving your baby and creating your family. I want to give you all my love and support for this unique journey you find yourself on. I know things are very different right now in many ways, and there is still so much you can do every single day. No one can take away your dream, your focus, and your determination. You can be as tenacious, motivated, and positive now as you have ever been. This is still your time. And I know that if you've had fertility treatment cancelled or delayed, it can feel like time is more precious than ever. So take care of this time and opportunity you have. I bet today there are several small things that you can do in this moment to show yourself that you are still focused on having your baby. Maybe writing a list some steps you can take now to shift your focus back, or rewrite a daily routine that works for you in these times. And once you have that plan or list, you'll notice a spark of motivation return, knowing from within that you are not done yet. You didn't plan for COVID, you didn't ask for it. It's something out of your control. So you're not going to let it take over your plans and your dreams. These dreams are bigger, stronger, and maybe more important now than ever. If there's anything that I can do to support you, please let me know. Maybe send me an email with the steps that you're taking or what you're doing in this moment, or share your biggest challenge to start reaching out for that connection and support. Please know that you are not alone, and you always have more strength and creativity than you think you have to overcome any obstacles. If you'd like to share with me where you are right now, please do. The email address that comes directly to me is mail@fertilemindset.com. I look forward to hearing from you and speaking to you again on the podcast next week. Please remember to subscribe wherever you listen so you're notified of new episodes and you don't miss them. I'm so pleased you're listening to the Fertile Mindset podcast, and now I would love to invite you to join us in the Fertile Mindset Sanctuary. The Sanctuary is my fertility support membership, which is focused on taking care of you and helping you enjoy your life while you wait for your baby. In the Sanctuary, I'll guide you through using an amazing technique called EFT or tapping, and you'll soon be feeling less stressed and more joyful. If you're not already in the Sanctuary, do come and join us today, because the best time to start receiving support on your fertility journey is always right now. Honestly, it makes such a difference to have good quality emotional support and techniques that you can pick up and use yourself whenever you need them. Go to fertilemindset.com/sanctuary to join us today. I look forward to hopefully seeing you there and at the next episode of the Fertile Mindset podcast.